What if you woke up one day and your daughter was nowhere to be found? It's a nightmare scenario that no parent would ever want to experience. The mere thought of your child out there somewhere, scared and alone, is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. In such a situation, most of us would stop at nothing to locate our missing child, willing to do whatever it takes. But let me take you on a journey into the lives of a family who faced unimaginable circumstances when their daughter vanished without a trace. Their world was soon engulfed by a media frenzy, and a national controversy that overshadowed their desperate search for answers. The disappearance of Paulette Gebara Farah in Mexico captured the entire country's attention, and even became an international sensation, though for reasons far from admirable. Despite their tireless efforts to find their beloved daughter, every step the family took was met with scrutiny and criticism. What should have been a united front in the quest to bring Paulette home safely turned into a tragic miscarriage of justice. As we delve into the intricate details of this devastating case, it's crucial to remember that at the core of it all was a real child. A child who should be celebrated for the beautiful life she lived, rather than being defined solely by the circumstances of her tragic passing. Hello, I'm True Crime US. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Today's case takes us to the city of Huixquilucan de Degollado, Mexico. Born on July 20, 2005, Paulette came into the world as the daughter of lled Farah and Mauricio Gebara. She had an older sister named lled, whom I'll refer to as lled Jr. to avoid any confusion. Paulette faced challenges in her daily life due to a physical disability affecting her mobility, and a language disorder that made communication difficult for her. On March 21, 2010, a Sunday evening, Paulette and lled Jr. returned home with their father after being away for the weekend. Their mother, lled, opted not to join them and instead went on a trip to Los Cabos with her friend Amanda. Upon their return, lled greeted her daughters and tucked them into bed, just like any other night. There appeared to be nothing unusual or suspicious at that time. lled, who was an attorney, and Mauricio, who worked in real estate, worked long hours but made good money, so they employed 2 nannies to make sure the girls were taken care of during the day. The morning following their trip, the nannies arrived and went into Paulette's room to wake her. To their shock, they discovered her bed empty. Frantically searching the apartment, they found no trace of Paulette. Given that they lived in a high-rise building and considering Paulette's limited mobility, it seemed highly unlikely that she had left the apartment on her own. The nannies immediately notified their employers, who in turn contacted the authorities. Paulette's disappearance quickly gained national attention, becoming the focal point of conversations throughout Mexico. Determined to find their missing daughter, lled and Mauricio spared no effort in spreading the word, plastering the city with flyers and missing person posters. They even purchased billboards to display details about Paulette's disappearance. However, despite the widespread attention, nobody had any idea where she could be. The circumstances surrounding Paulette's disappearance perplexed everyone involved. Leaving the apartment on her own seemed virtually impossible, yet there were no signs of forced entry or a struggle in her bedroom. The family owned 2 dogs, who strangely remained silent throughout that night. It was as if Paulette had vanished into thin air. However, the level of attention Paulette's case received sparked controversy. In Mexico, numerous children go missing each year, leading some to question why Paulette's situation garnered such extensive media coverage. Speculation arose that her family's wealth played a role in elevating her case above others. A week after Paulette vanished, her parents and both of the nannies were taken into custody as suspicion was growing over them as they gave conflicting stories to the media. lled and Mauricio were particularly suspicious, as secret recordings had captured lled telling lled Jr. not to say anything to the police or she'd get in trouble. As a result, all 4 adults were taken into custody for questioning, only to be released without charges on the same day. Subsequently, 2 days later, a breakthrough occurred in the case. However, instead of providing answers, it led to even more perplexing questions. The investigators took it upon themselves to film a recreation of their search for Paulette in her room after she went missing. This was peculiar for several reasons. Firstly, nobody had requested this recreation, and to this day, it remains unclear why the investigators decided to film it. Additionally, they conducted the recreation at 2 a.m., a highly unusual time considering the initial search did not happen at that hour. During the disturbing video, which I advise against watching, the investigators pointed out sheets and pillowcases that appeared to be stained with blood. They boldly claimed that it was evident Paulette had suffered severe beatings. This revelation came as a shock to everyone. As they examined the bed and measured the area, they pulled back the blankets at the foot of the mattress, and to everyone's disbelief, there was Paulette. Somehow, the girl had been wedged between the end of the mattress and the foot of the bed, still dressed in the pajamas she had worn on the night she vanished. The discovery of Paulette's body ignited a media frenzy, raising the question of how she went unnoticed for 9 days. The nannies insisted that she was not there when she was reported missing. They claimed to have searched the room thoroughly, asserting they would have noticed if Paulette had been there. Furthermore, over 100 people had been in that room over the course of the investigations, and it just didn't make sense that none of those people found her before. The most disturbing aspect was that family members and friends had slept in the same bed during the 9 days before Paulette's discovery, including Lizette's friend Amanda. This intensified suspicion, particularly toward Paulette's parents, especially her mother, Lizette. According to Erica, while everyone else was frantically searching for their daughter, the parents did not appear upset or concerned. Erica noted that the morning after Paulette went missing, Lizette appeared relaxed in the living room, calmly drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. Even more concerning were Lizette's comments. Allegedly, she made jokes about her daughter's whereabouts, suggesting that Paulette may have been abducted by aliens or even Harry Potter. Her most disturbing statement was, "Even if I lose Paulette, I still have another daughter." Despite the perplexing circumstances surrounding Paulette's discovery, her death was ruled an accident. The coroner determined that Paulette had suffocated after getting tangled or swallowing part of an orthopedic blanket and rolling to the end of her bed, where she became lodged between the mattress and the bed frame. This ruling contradicted the investigators at the video reenactment, who claimed to have observed blood on the bed, leading them to conclude that Paulette's cause of death was physical injuries. According to the coroner, there were no indications that someone had harmed Paulette or moved her body after her death. Many people find it difficult to believe the official ruling and suspect a cover-up by the police. Even Alberto Basbas, the state's attorney general, disputes the claim that Paulette's death was accidental. He personally searched the bedroom and her bed and saw no signs of her presence in that room. Alberto was determined to uncover the truth, which, in his opinion, was that Paulette had been killed by her mother. Lizette continued to receive negative attention for her behavior. After the discovery of Paulette's body, many described her as uncaring and emotionless. Sandra Yadiam, a legal psychiatric expert, concurred, stating, "She has always remained very distant in matters of affection and emotional attachment." The pressure of the investigation took a toll on Lizette and Mauricio's marriage, leading to their official divorce in 2014. But after Paulette was found, Lizette actually filed a restraining order against the rest of her family and took Mauricio to court over the custody of Lizette Jr. In the media, they accused one another of knowing something about Paulette's death, but the accusation never amounted to much. The truth is, there wasn't much evidence against Paulette or Mauricio, besides their odd behavior and a single recording involving Lizette and their older daughter. They both maintained that the audio was taken out of context. This case has drawn comparisons to the disappearance and death of JonBenet Ramsey. A girl from a privileged family vanishes and is found deceased in her own home, while her parents seem to be behaving suspiciously. Hopefully, unlike the JonBenet case, we can eventually find a resolution in Paulette's case. Unfortunately, as the years go by, the chances of solving the mystery seem to diminish. On April 6, 2010, Paulette was laid to rest, and her father was absent from the service. Lizette revealed to the press that she couldn't fathom her husband suspecting her involvement in their daughter's death. In fact, he even requested that she not attend the service herself. In May of that year, Alberto stepped down as a regional attorney general due to criticism surrounding the case's handling. He claimed that the procedures were conducted appropriately and took full responsibility for any mishandling, including the prolonged search for Paulette's body, which was seemingly concealed in plain sight. The media, the public, and politicians heavily criticized the case. ESU's Ortega called out the governor of Mexico State, demanding accountability for this disastrous investigation. Around 100 police officers searched this 10-meter room, and sniffer dogs were deployed, yet they never found the body. Whom are they trying to protect? In 2017, the case was officially closed, and Paulette's grave was exhumed for her remains to be cremated. This means that if the case were to be reopened in the future, there would be no physical evidence to examine. Nowadays, Mauricio keeps a low profile, avoiding the media and online presence altogether. Lled remains relatively private as well, though she occasionally grants interviews. Personally, I believe she feels compelled to constantly assert her innocence because she underwent much more scrutiny than her ex-husband. In one interview, she mentioned harboring no ill will towards the press for publishing stories that implied her guilt. However, she does resent the fact that such speculation made its way into reputable news sources. It's nearly impossible to find any information about Paulette's sister online, as she would now be around 18 years old. I can only hope that she was able to have a somewhat normal childhood. If she possesses any knowledge regarding the case, I hope she finds the courage to come forward someday. What are your thoughts on this case? It's incredibly challenging to piece together what truly happened here. The idea that Paulette was in that room for 9 days without anyone noticing is simply mind-boggling. I'm eager to hear your thoughts in the comments below.